Welcome to Between the Lines podcast. I'm Jess.
And I'm Janine.
And we both work at the Winkler branch of the South Central Regional Library.
In this podcast, we talk about books with our own twist. We talk about just the first half and predict where it might be going.
And finish reading the book and discuss the second half.
There will be snark, there will be spoilers, and depending on the book, there may be references to violence, sex, or other adult topics.
So if that's not for you, stop listening now.
All right, let's get into this week's book. Arr, matey.
Should walk the plank for that comment.
Today we're going to be discussing Crossbones by Kimberly Vale.
If you couldn't tell, it's about pirates.
If you would have let me speak, I would have said that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Never trust a pirate. The blood bell tolls, marking the death of the Pirate King and the start of the trials, a heart-stopping competition where the reward is the bone crown. Only one contender can claim the coveted island throne. Each will gamble life and limb to win. Captain, sister, maiden. Scylla Abato, I don't know if I said that right, but anyways, yearns to prove her strength to the seasoned pirates who balk at her youth and to her elder sister, who has always craved Scylla's captainship. She will risk everything to become the first pirate queen, no matter the cost. Dealer, son, legacy. Kane Blackwater wants to leave behind the dirty gold and shady trades he's made to keep his father's ship, the Iron Jewel, alive. The trials represent a new beginning, yet rumors of a secret heir are swirling, threatening his hopes of becoming the Pirate King. Stowaway, daughter, storm. Lorelei Penny longs for nothing more than to avenge her mother's death. Stowing away on the Iron Jewel was supposed to get her closer to the killer, but instead she finds herself caught up in the deadly battle where loyalty and desire collide. Scylla, Kane, Lorelei, each on a mission. The sea, however, has other plans. Dark tides are rising, and if they aren't careful, they'll surely drown. Crossbones is book 1 in the Kingdom of Bone series. Their second book is out called Dark Tides, and there's a third title listed on Goodreads called Sea Storm, but there's no other information on Goodreads regarding that book. However, the Fantastic Fiction website has a publishing date of 2024 for that title. Kimberly Vale is a teacher by day, fantasy author by night. So,
The cover is awesome.
the cover is, yeah,
I really like it. Like, they did a really good job on that.
it's really cool. A little creepy, but cool.
Yeah, but not like in a
Like, it's not
hide
gory.
it from children creepy.
No.
It's just, like, it's half her face, half skull,
Yeah.
with kind of like a crowny bit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like antlers. But, like, it's really cool. And I've seen the cover
Yeah.
for the Dark Tides.
Yeah.
And, like, that one is blue rather than gold. And again, half a face, half a skull. Really good designed.
Yeah. Yeah, they are really cool. Do you have Dark Tides, I wonder?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I ordered it.
Okay. Because we've only had this one, I think, since November. Book 1. But, yeah. It is, again, a series. A trilogy.
And a really good book.
And where the third book doesn't come out till next year, apparently.
Yeah. Honestly,
So-
when you said 2024, I'm like, oh my word, that's ages away.
That's
It's
next
like,
year.
No, that's 9 months away. Not even 9 months. It is 8 months away.
7, 8.
Well, we just finished the
8.
4th month.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
There's a reason why we're not accountants. I have a grand total of 2 notes for this book. 1, love the cover of the series. 2, really annoyed I had to stop halfway through the book. That's it. It's really good.
I wrote down, Lorelei is obviously the heir. And
Very obviously.
I wrote that down like very close to the beginning, like after her first chapter. And then I wrote on page 7 a quote from Lorelei. Why am I so fascinated by them? Talking about pirates. And I wrote, same.
It's because it's pirates.
Yeah, they're
Pirates are
fascinating.
fun.
They're fascinating. And then I wrote, Lorelei plus Kane equals heart.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much a given at this
Yeah.
point. Because there's Lorelei and Kane, and then Finn and Scylla.
Yeah. But literally had like, this book is really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Honestly, it is so hard to talk about really good books because they're just so darn good that
I know.
books that you don't like, that's easy. I could rant for days
Well,
about
yeah.
books I don't
Talk
like.
about all the things you don't like, right?
I mean, please, the podcast. That's basically what it is. But it is so good. I mean, I was a little bit concerned because it starts off with basically Pirates of the Caribbean scene.
So it starts off with Scylla about to be hanged
Yes.
on the charge of piracy, I assume. I don't know if they ever really said, but...
Yeah, it was church piracy. And she gets saved from the gallows at the last minute by her sister, blah, 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 blah. They jump off a cliff to their ship. which is very Pirates of the Caribbean-y. So I'm like, oh, please tell me this is not a terrible, non-researched, everybody wears a tricorn hat, pirate nonsense. I have opinions.
They don't all wear tricorn hats?
No, they don't.
When we were in Savannah, Georgia, there's a restaurant called the Pirate's House, which is actually like a place where pirates used to convene, apparently. And you can like go on tours and whatever. And so we went up to the gift shop, obviously, because that's my jam.
Cool. I've always wanted a tricorn hat.
Well, if I would have known, I could have brought you one.
Yeah. And a top hat. I like hats. Completely random.
What would you do with a tricorn hat?
Just wear it to work every once in a while. Haha. Confuse people. Get stress leave if you show up to work in a tricorn hat. They'll send you home. Please, you look like you need a break. Get out. You're scaring people now.
Interesting. The wheels are turning, Jess.
Now I've given you ideas. Oh dear.
I don't have a tricorn hat though, so how many more times can I say tricorn hat?
Tricorn.
Yeah.
This is the third one we've recorded today. The wheels are coming off a tad.
A little. That usually happens on the third one.
Yeah. But like after that first scene of, well, Pirates of the Caribbean, which is something we're not going to get into.
Are you not a fan?
It gets a lot better. I like Pirates of the Caribbean, but I have many issues from a sailing and historical point of view.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
if you want to watch a better sailing show, Hornblower. Much better. Brilliant. They did not use CGI for their ships. They made like 4-foot models of ships and then blew them up with BB guns.
Huh.
The recording, or like the footage and art in that one is so much better. It's like an 8-movie mini-series kind of thing. Brilliant.
But is Johnny Depp in it?
No, it's Johan Griffith.
I don't know who that is.
Well, it's a really good series. It's Napoleonic War. It's great. It's not pirates.
Yeah, but it's not Johnny Depp's. Or Orlando Bloom.
Oh, dear.
I'm not gonna lie. After Orlando Bloom left the Pirates franchise, I did not watch a single other Pirates movie.
All of them.
Nope.
And you can taste the desperation. It's like watching Despicable Me. You can taste the desperation. Because they're just trying to keep that money flowing in, and they're killing the franchise while they're doing it.
Yeah, well.
But
like I say, I haven't seen the last few, so
don't bother.
I don't intend to.
Watch Hornblower instead.
Well, we'll
Much
see.
better.
We'll see about that.
But anyway, after that, like it bounces from character to character. Between Scylla, Kane, and Lorelai.
Yep.
And it's good. Like the whole lava monster thingy kind of came up a little out of nowhere.
That part left me a little confused.
Where I'm like, because there wasn't really an accurate description of the, what do they call them? Molten men.
Yeah.
There wasn't an accurate description of molten men, and all of a sudden Kane's fighting one.
Yeah. I
think
think
it's kind of like, is this a dream?
that comes a little bit later, though, right? There is a little bit more about it, not a lot.
It's about in the last third of the first half.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but there's not really much of an explanation about molten men, what they are, because he explains stuff to Lorelai after she jumps on a ship. Also, who takes a barrel of gunpowder and blows a hole in their own deck?
I know. That I was like, come on, man.
There's better ways.
He was down to
put forks in there and works excellent as shrapnel. Don't take notes from this, for the record.
Although he was down to a crew of what, like 3, 4?
He had a very small crew, because some of them were eaten by the lava monster. Killed by the lava monster, whatever. I'll explain later. But it sounded like he picked up new crew.
Yeah, but
at least some. Because his original crew weren't all gone, but he picked up a bunch of nuts, the great crewmen.
Yeah.
Because he's rather peeved when he found them trying to push Lorelai overboard without even telling him that there was a stowaway, which everybody knows is not the proper chain of command.
I don't know that, but that's okay.
Technically, on a Navy ship, is bosun or bosun's mate that would take care of that kind of thing. But the captain needs to be told. You don't just shove somebody overboard before you tell the captain.
Duly noted.
Especially if it's a woman, because oftentimes captains would take women along, and if you accidentally throw the captain's girlfriend overboard, you're going to go next.
Yes.
Like, you gotta be careful with that.
I can see that.
Yeah. But we just barely got to the trials. Like, we haven't actually started the trials yet. They're in trial registration at the moment.
No, the gun went off to start the trials.
Yeah, but like they just finished.
But I feel like this is the part I want to get to. I feel like this is the Hunger Games for pirates. Well, kind of it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Only you're not allowed to kill.
You're not allowed to kill, you're not allowed to steal anything other than
The key and the map.
the key and the map.
Or
yep.
the part of the key or whatever it is.
And you're also not allowed to... There was something else.
Yeah.
I forget what.
But in the
Basically,
Hunger...
you could not engage in pirate-like behavior.
Yeah. In the Hunger Games, killing, I feel like, is encouraged. So...
That's literally the point of the Hunger Games.
Yeah. No, I know. But I'm more excited about this because they're not supposed to kill. Always bothered me how many people had to die in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, well, that's why they call it dystopia.
I know.
Yeah, like this, I think somebody's gonna die.
Oh, absolutely.
I have a feeling it's gonna be Finn's first mate.
Interesting.
Because it's not Scylla's first mate, because Rhoda's her first mate.
No, Rhoda's not her first mate.
Rhoda's not her first mate?
No, not for the trials.
No, she's not for the trials, but she is from the ship, right?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. It's... I'm thinking Nayla.
Could be.
Not Lion King.
Nala is Lion King.
Nala's Lion King.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say it's Nala. Oh, there's a lion coming. Oh, yes,
Usually,
there's a lion.
when we record, I bring all the books and then I never look at them. Today, I didn't bring any of the books.
Yeah, now you
and I wished I would have brought them because there's been a few times where I've wanted to look at something.
I need to just start doing like character lists at the beginning of my notes.
Something.
But anyway, she got her, not her sister, for the trial.
She chose her over her sister.
Over her sister, yeah.
Because her sister was supposed to be the captain.
Her sister's a psychopath in training.
You know what I found interesting is that they all had these, like, there was Scylla and Rosalina and all these, like, fancy names, and then her sister's name is Rhoda.
Yeah, it's kind of
I was like, okay.
lumpy name.
That's telling of the character.
Yeah.
Rhoda.
And I kept reading it as Rhonda.
Oh, interesting.
Which just made me think of, like...
Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. That?
Not that, no.
That's what I think of when I hear that name.
I will take your word for it.
Your parents are obviously not Beach Boys fans.
No. No, I was raised on Johnny Cash. Yeah. I'm sorry for myself, too.
It's okay. My dad's favorite song has the words, I don't want a pickle. I just want to ride my motorcycle.
I'll take the pickle. Pickles are good.
Well, anyways, it's the song that he always sang to us. And I think at one point we also found a music video for that song.
Yeah, there's some pretty interesting music videos out there for the old songs.
Learned that there was more than just those two lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
I totally forgot where I was at.
very excited to get into the trials. We were talking about the first mates a little bit.
Yeah, like, see, that's the thing. I think Nala might die, because we haven't got a whole lot of background information on her. Mm-hmm. And Rhoda is a budding serial killer. Well, not serial killer. She's a budding psychopath.
She's jealous because she didn't get to be captain of the ship.
There's a whole lot of crazy wrapped up in there. Mm-hmm. Kane, his first mate, is now Lorelai because she just went, I volunteer as tribute. And
basically, yes.
Pretty much. And Finn, his first mate is...
his pal.
His first mate. His second is his first mate. They're basically brothers. So he's the one you can kill off the most easily while giving some kind of emotional impact, but not enough to actually impact the story. Like, you're not killing the main character. I
would like that other pirate guy to get killed. Rove? Is that his name?
Rove, yeah.
The bone dogs?
Yeah, bone dogs.
I kept reading it bony dog or something. No, not that. Bondago. That's how I was reading it. I don't know why. But
I kept reading it boondocks.
I kept reading Bondago. I don't know what that is. I don't even know if that's a word.
The Count of Montego. You killed my father, prepared to. That's combining the Count of Monte Cristo and
Princess Bride.
Yeah. But yeah. No, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the trials. It's a really, really good book, and we're not doing an adequate job of explaining it in any way, shape, or form.
We're getting a little goofy here. I apologize. But I will say, I read the first half in basically one sitting, and it was not like, oh, I got to stop and take a break. I did stop to take a break to do some texting that needed to be done.
Because I swear I had to do it.
I did. No, anyway. But it wasn't like I had to take like 10 breaks because I just couldn't read anymore.
Yeah, no, I didn't fall asleep in the middle of this one, which is I'm doing good.
Having said that, I read the first 10 pages twice. Both times I fell asleep. So, anyway.
You just need to drink more coffee.
I think both times I hadn't had any coffee. Yesterday, for sure, I hadn't had any before.
There you go.
Before I read
Next
that.
time, with all the rest of the books, drink coffee first, and if you still fall asleep, that's how we'll judge if it's a good book or not. I don't drink coffee, so I can't do that.
I don't think we should judge it based on my coffee consumption. Because my sleep patterns have been wackadoodle, so...
Plus, you'd end up just like as a crazy rabbit squirrel going, I read a book!
But no, the pacing is really good. Sometimes when a book starts off with one character's perspective and then it switches, I find myself like feeling like the first character is the main character and just wanting to hear the story from their perspective because it started off with them. And so I'm like, well, this is their story. I don't care about these other people. Get rid of them. Stop going to, like...
Pirate book, they might get rid of them.
Well, that is true. But, like... And it jumps through time, like, pretty quickly.
That's the thing. But, like, it's what? It started off 2 months before the date of the trial? A month and a half? Something like that?
The king's death was 2 months before, but that was, like, a month after the book started, I feel like. I feel like we've gone through at least 3 months.
So it bounces around quite a bit. But it's easy to follow still. But
yeah, no, it's not hard to follow. It just jumps over big chunks of time.
Thing is, with this one, oftentimes if they jump between, like, 3 characters or multiple characters, I lose track of who's who. This one I didn't.
No, this one, it's very easy
Like,
to follow.
even with the other book that we did, Patrick Bauer one, because it's from first person, I spent half my time going, who? Wait, where are they? Oh, they're talking about the first person. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
this book is not hard to follow.
no,
At all.
It is excellent.
Yep.
I kind of want to see if there's an audiobook available and see how good that one is. It reminds me a lot of Fable
I loved Fable.
by Adrian Young.
Yeah, Fable is a good book. If you like pirate books, definitely read that one.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Absolutely. I agree.
Also a series, so...
Have you read Saint yet?
I have not read Saint yet.
You have to read Saint.
I'm waiting on the audiobook.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would also love to see this one made into a movie.
Yes. I think it would be brilliant. I think they'd have to change the first scene, because otherwise it'll just be, oh, this is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like, but no, like, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's so good that you don't take any notes while you're reading and then don't remember all the good things that happen when you're doing the podcast.
I mean, there's still some things that I'm like obviously Lorelai's history. She knows almost nothing about her past.
Yeah.
Or where she came from or whatever. And obviously we know that she's the secret heir. And Cain, I think, knows that also, and I think Scylla...
Cain knows.
Scylla knows that there is an heir, but doesn't know that the heir is Lorelai.
Yeah, she's just barely met Lorelai.
Yeah.
Like, I think they met at the trials, or shortly before the trials.
I think she came onto his boat.
Right, she saved him from the pirates.
Yeah, from the other pirates.
When the Bone Dogs attacked.
The Bondagos.
Bondagos would be better. Honestly, Bondagos would be so much better. I am the feared pirate, captain of the Bondagos. I'm the feared captain of the Bone Dogs. Yeah, we operate off a scrapyard on Highway 3.
Anything sounds ridiculous when you say it with that accent. Try saying Bondagos with that accent.
The Bondagos. Still sounds cooler. If you're the captain of the Bondagos, still sounds cooler than we're the captain of the Bone Dogs. Still better. Still better.
Well, either way.
That aside, and the many, many other asides that Linda probably edited out. I think we should go read the second half.
I think so, because I gotta know who wins.
Well, I was going to say, do you have any any guesses as to who wins the trial?
I would love to see Scylla win, but obviously it's Lorelai's birthright, as far as we're guessing.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure.
I don't think it'll be Finn.
Oh, no. I don't think it will be Cain either.
I can almost see it being Cain more than Scylla.
Yeah.
Because Scylla's already having trouble just with captainship to then be queen.
I know, but the book started with Scylla. She has to be the winner. She's the main character.
You have to start somewhere, Janine.
No, but she's... In my mind, she's the main character, so she has to be the winner.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Cain. Or, I mean, to be fair, Lorelai's a pistol.
Yeah. Well, Lorelai's with Cain, so...
Which could be the king and queen of the Bone Crown.
I'm gonna write this down.
Honestly, it could be Lorelai wins and Cain becomes her second in command. I could see that happening.
Well, let's see if you're right.
Which of the 3 guesses that I've made so far?
Well, I wrote Kane / Lorelai, or Lorelai wins Kane first mate.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe
I mean, Lorelai is his second, like Kane's second. So she can't, like, win per se, but it's pirates. I assume there'll be some shifty behavior involved. They don't break the rules. They're not pirates.
I think because you should never trust a pirate. That was one thing, that line came up multiple times, which I was like, okay, we get it. They're not trustworthy dudes.
They're pirates. By their
Duh.
very definition, they're not trustworthy.
Exactly. But we all know that, so we don't need to keep saying it in every other chapter.
No.
That was one tiny pet peeve I had with this book.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, honestly, if you just continue saying, don't trust me, don't trust me, don't trust me, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, get over yourself. Maybe you're not as bad as you think you are. You're more of a bone dog than a bondago.
Bondigo.
Bondigo. Oh, man.
Maybe Scylla will win and give it to Lorelai. That's my...
Maybe. Because the thing is, she's more invested in their becoming a bone queen than being the bone queen.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of more of her thing.
But I want to be the bone queen. Where's my bone crown? I'm going to come to work with a bone crown.
There you go.
See what happens then.
Goodness.
All right.
No. Well, that's
Tomorrow.
our predictions, and we'll have to...
We'll be back with the right answers.
And Janine will be wearing a bone crown. I'll have to get
Go out
that
and
picture
find
of that for the thumbnail.
I'm going to go find some bones on my parents' yard.
Chris has a bunch of antlers.
Oh.
Yeah. The deer just keep dropping antlers at her place. So
I don't know that I could actually put a crown of bones on my head. It would just...
I have no problem with it.
I personally just don't think I could do it.
Maybe I'm a sociopath too.
Maybe I'm just a little princess.
That could be. That could be why you have a desire to wear a crown, Janine. You're just a little princess.
It's true. I'm going to start wearing a crown.
There you go. This doesn't look all crazy.
Well, we all know what the end goal is here, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the predictions for now. Janine wears a crown. Lorelai becomes the bone queen, and Kane becomes her backup. That's my guesses.
I'm going to write this down. Janine wears crown. And we are back with part 2 of Crossbones. So,
Okay, what were my predictions? Because I'm trying to remember what they were when I was reading it.
you said the winner would be Kane and Lorelai, or Lorelai wins and Kane would be her first mate. Mm-hmm. And then I said Scylla would win, but give it to Lorelai.
Aha, so you got it, but backwards.
I guess so. I
Because
didn't really get it then.
Lorelai won, but gave it to Scylla.
Yeah.
Although she hasn't been crowned yet.
Didn't she have the crown on her head?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that mean that she...
Didn't walk out yet.
Oh.
There's still plenty of chaos that could happen.
Sure.
I think so.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
Let's check it.
But I was pretty sure it's a case of Lorelai
Oh, yeah.
got the crown, was standing there and basically went, yeah, no, I don't really want to do this. Gave it to Scylla, and Scylla was getting ready to walk out to announce it, but hadn't yet.
No, she did.
She did? What was the response?
Because it says here, she smiled at him before turning toward the open balcony doors and stepping through. Scylla had never seen so many eyes on her all at once. The crowded courtyard fell silent. They scrutinized the bone crown on her head. Their gazes lingered over her blind eye. They judged the pants she wore when a queen should wear a dress.
Right. I remember that now.
So, and then Flynn yells, "Long live the Queen of Bones."
Of course it was Flynn.
So, yeah. So she did go out.
Yeah. Like, there's plenty of room there for absolute chaos.
There is. I mean, to me, I like the first half of this book better than the second half. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, me too. The second half felt a little basic.
Kind of. There was some, like, I don't know. I was so
went
excited.
too smoothly.
Yes.
I mean, there was molten men and pirates trying to kill everybody, but like...
But somehow it just kind of worked out, like, easily. It seemed easy.
The first half of the book read like Fable by
Yeah.
Adrian Young. Second half of the book, not so much.
No, I don't...
It wasn't bad. I'm still
No.
going to read the second one and the third one when we eventually get it.
Yeah. No, it wasn't
Bad.
bad, but it was just missing something, I felt like.
Well, like, they didn't have any problem getting any of the pieces.
Yeah. Even, like, when they had to steal it off of Rove, like...
They basically walked into camp and took it.
Basically.
Like, that's the thing that got me, is for something called the Trials, there was nothing very trying about it.
No, and I was expecting more, like... I guess I was expecting more competition.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like they were, like...
They basically met in the forest and went, hey, you want to hang out? And oh, yeah, sure. Should we get those guys? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
And then they all went merrily on their way. There was no competition.
No.
And, like, I figured they would get together eventually, but I figured there'd be a little bit more... Everybody does it on their own for the first little bit, and then, like, halfway through they go, I've got the pieces, we got the pieces, we got to get the one from Rove, and then get together. As opposed to, like, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, right out of the gates.
And also, to me, Trials indicates that there will be, like...
difficulty.
And things that they have to do to compete against each other, like, for lack of a better word, games.
Yeah.
Like Olympics.
Booby
or
traps
something.
at the very least.
Yeah, something, but
Something
no.
Indiana Jonesy.
They all got a map to a different part of the island where Key was, basically.
Yeah.
Right? So, and then they went and found the keys, and all of a sudden, there it was, right there. Boom. Here it is. Oh, boom. There it is.
One was, like, climbing a cliff.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, there it is. And, like, I don't know if the lava men were supposed to be part of the challenge to get it, or if it was just a case of Lorelai was there.
No, that was a Lorelai thing.
But I'm like, other than being afraid of heights, what's the challenge?
Yeah.
Having to bat away a seagull?
You have to climb the right part of the cliff, I guess.
Yeah, but that's not...
I know. I just, like...
That's not that challenging. I would expect a pirate knows how to do that. Is that not Pirate 101?
Yeah, it was just... To me, the second half was lacking. Mm-hmm. And I left this... Like, we were reading a few books this weekend for the podcast, and I left this one to last purposely because it was my favorite of the ones that we were reading. And then I was like, oh... I was a little disappointed.
It just fell a little bit flat.
It did. So, yeah, I do want to read the next one at some point. But maybe we should read it in fall.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And we'll
Although that means I have to wait.
I know. But man, those mermaids, like...
That's the thing. The mermaid was about the biggest challenge.
They were no Ariel, that's for sure.
No. A little bit more Ursula.
Very sinister. Like, I was like, holy cow, is that really what mermaids are supposed to be?
Yeah. It's not the Disney version of mermaids.
Definitely not.
Like, mermaids are generally evil creatures.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yikes.
I do want to know if there's more about, what's the kid's name? The Goldie Eye one.
Oh, the magic kid?
Yeah, the magic kid.
Oh, what's his name?
Starts with a B.
Yep, I thought I just saw it there.
Either way, whatever his name is. I'm hoping we get more of his story in the second half.
Yeah.
Because it kind of felt a little bit like they just used him as a battery. Like, he was the handy-dandy thing to...
Bring her back to life.
Revive Lorelai after she died.
Yep.
Or almost died.
I can't stop now till I find it. I know it's here somewhere.
Well, I'll just keep talking then.
Yeah.
No, like, it was not bad, but, like...
Born,
right? There was really, really good setup. Mm-hmm. But the setup was better than the conclusion.
Yeah.
Or, like, the big thing that they had to do.
Yeah. I was looking for more suspense. I didn't feel like... Even when they finally got the key and they made it to the cave...
Yeah. And they made this whole big deal about it. Oh, it feels dark. It feels evil. And they walk in and it's just like, oh, yeah, no, it's just a bunch of pirates partying.
They weren't partying. They were waiting for them.
Yeah, I know, but, like, they were just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
I was expecting there to be a final challenge, a pit of snakes or something.
Yeah.
Not just a bunch of pirates hanging around and going, oh, you finally got here. Thank God the rum's gone.
And also you stole my magic boy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's... Now we have to fight to the death.
Yeah.
And then the sisters, like... I don't know. That whole storyline with Rhoda also...
A little bit obvious.
Yeah.
Like, she was clearly going to be the evil one. It was pretty obvious. The fact that she was also hearing the voices, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense. Yeah. But it wasn't any big, like, oh, really? Like, it was just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious which direction they're going to take it in the second book.
That's the thing. To me, this whole book kind of felt like a book in itself. Like, it didn't feel like the beginning of a series.
No.
To a point. Because it kind of ended with, Scylla taking the crown and going out to meet her adoring public. Mm-hmm. Which could very well be the end of it.
Yeah.
She reigns, long live the queen. So I want to know what happens in the second one. and what happens the third one. Like, is it going to follow... Like, this one mainly followed Scylla and Cain.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of felt like the two main characters. So is the next one going to be Flynn?
I can't see him being a main character.
I don't know. There's a guy on the cover of the second one, which makes me think it's either Cain or Finn that's the main one.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be Aiden or whatever his name is. Flynn's first mate.
Eris.
Eris. Right.
I don't know.
Something with an A. I can't see it being him.
Yeah.
He's very much just the drunken side character.
Yeah, no. I didn't really care for him, to be honest.
He was fine, but he just strikes me as one of those, like, overexcited puppies.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the next book goes back in time to Rathbone.
That would surprise me.
Yeah.
Thing is, you've got quite a lot that you could still do with the story. Like, as much as this one kind of feels like it was like... There's some books where it feels like the author wrote them to be one, the publishers got a hold of them and went, we're making this into a series, make it work. As much as this book feels like that, it does also leave quite a bit of room open for the second and third book plot-wise.
Yeah.
Like, it could be a case of Scylla is not the rightful queen, so there's a challenge. It could be that Lorelai, she has some kind of magic power she has not fully explored.
Mm-hmm.
It could be her figuring that out. It could be Flynn or Cain, having to deal with a new ruler and trade agreements and the fact they're now besties with the queen. Like, there's a fair amount of different ways that it could go.
Yeah.
So, there's still story there.
There's story, but I also felt like there was a lot of, like, teenage angst in the second half.
Yeah.
And the ending kind of got a little cheesy also.
I was kind of annoyed that Scylla didn't stab Flynn at least once at some point.
She loves him.
He was fine as a character, but her like reaction and response and everything to him was very... He betrayed me, I hate him, but I love him, but I hate him, but I love him, but I hate him. It's like...
Yeah.
You didn't give the guy a chance to explain, which, I mean, you're a pirate. You're prone to rash decisions. But when he did explain, it's just like, boom, okay, we're good now. Like, there was no... Do you have evidence? If it wasn't you, then who was it? Mm-hmm. Like, she didn't look into that at all. And I get that she's fairly busy with the trials, but, like, it's pretty much guaranteed that the person that ratted her out was one of the people involved in the trials.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of,
Yeah. No, I know.
Scylla's fine, but she's not my favorite main character ever.
No.
Like,
at the beginning, I liked her a lot, and I wish the book would focus more on her. Mm-hmm. By the end, I don't know.
It's like the development stopped halfway through. Mm-hmm. And, like, she didn't grow as a character. Like, at the beginning, I'm like, okay, she might be able to be queen. I can see her pulling this off. And at the end, I'm like, are you sure? Like...
I do think, however, like, because they were all working together, and then it was going to be like, well, who's going to get the crown, right, once we find it. I do think if Lorelai hadn't have had to reveal herself and there hadn't been, like, the fight, the feud, whatever, I do think that Scylla would have gotten the crown anyways.
Yeah.
To me, that's sort of how it was.
It was her or Cain, definitely.
Yeah.
And as soon as Lorelai entered the picture, Cain wasn't going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, no, it wouldn't have happened. So, I don't know. I am looking forward to reading the second one. I have questions, mainly about where it's going to go and what the heck they're going to do with the third one. Because, like, even with, like, the Molten Men and the whole Storm thing, they didn't really get into that enough for me.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, it was kind of a partially magical thing, but not totally. Like, there's Molten Men, they're attacking you. Okay. She had, like, the final battle or whatever in her brain when she was dying. But... it wasn't really... How do I explain it?
Well,
it wasn't a big enough battle to be a conclusion, but it was final enough that it's not, like, the bad guy storming off and going, I'll be back. Like...
I wonder if the fact that she gave away the crown will affect it. Maybe that's part of it.
I don't know, because, like, from what it sounds like, it's a blood birthright thing, not necessarily a ruling thing.
Right.
So... I don't know. I have questions.
But technically the crown is her birthright, right? Because her father...
Yeah, but, like, it's not like she has to have the crown on her head in order to rule or get magic or whatever.
No, but...
Like, that is through her bloodline, not through ruling.
Right.
So would ruling amplify the power?
I don't know.
So many questions.
But, like...
We really need to stop doing series, because just once I want a book where we have the ending and we go, this is what happened.
Yeah.
We know everything. No more questions. This is final.
Full stop. Yeah. No, I know. It's like there's, I don't know how many series we've done now that I have to read. Mm-hmm. Like, we started, I think one of our first books was the first in a trilogy.
Yep.
And I read all of those. And then I think shortly after we did another trilogy in Frontlines. Mm-hmm. And I have the second two. I have not yet read them, but I will. And too many series.
Yeah, we need to just start doing just standalones.
Yep. Yeah, I know, because my reading list is getting longer and longer by the second.
It's the problem with working in a library.
Yep.
You're never out of books to read.
Never, ever, ever. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed the book.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
It was good.
I was just a little bit disappointed by the second half of it. Mm-hmm. Not enough to make me not read the second book, but enough that I'm a little bit disappointed that it didn't quite fulfill its potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of potential there that just wasn't...
Yeah. And this is, what, the author's first book?
Let's see. She's been writing online on Wattpad. Do you know what that is?
It's a blogging thing.
Okay. So...
Yeah, but, like, this is her first official published book.
I think so, yeah.
Like, she's definitely got some skill, some talent. Mm-hmm. But I kind of feel like she needs a better editor. She does the build-up. She does the world building very, very well. Mm-hmm. Not Brandon Sanderson well, but that is a very high bar. But it just felt like she didn't quite know how to do the final climax, building the conclusion, you know, tie it all together in a neat bow, but leave just enough to leave you wanting more. Like, yeah. It kind of felt like that's where it kind of fell down.
But also, like, making the trials something exciting.
Yes. Rather than, like, a scavenger hunt that kind of reads like a 12-year-old did it.
Yeah, that was dull. That was the most disappointing for me because I was very excited about the trials because, like, to me, I was thinking, like, Hunger Games and, like, those kinds of things.
I was thinking there'd be, like, booby traps, Indiana Jones, you know, Hunger Games, like, a proper trial, a standoff at some point.
Yeah.
Like...
a game where they have to fight each other or something.
Snakes.
Yeah.
Like, add some snakes.
Something.
Like, crossbows from the walls when you step on a pressure plate. Come on, people. Mm-hmm. There needs to be some kind of trial to this trial. The biggest trial was the mermaid. Mm-hmm. Like...
basically. Well, the magma man.
Yeah, but even that, like, they would have been scarier if Cain hadn't defeated one, like, 2 chapters into the book.
True. Like...
the magma men, after that, had no intimidation factor left. Because it's basically, if I squirt you with a water bottle, he'll go away.
Yeah.
Like...
that's true.
There wasn't really anything left. We knew how to get rid of them. So there wasn't any suspense when it came to it.
Yeah.
Like...
that's true.
If they had removed the thing with Cain at the beginning, which did feel a little bit shoehorned in, they could have had the grand reveal of, oh, she's running and, you know, the magma men are chasing her, she's climbing a cliff, there's, like, a burning hand on her ankle, oh, no, oh, she can quench a storm, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that would have had a lot more impact if it hadn't been for the Cain scene at the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Like...
True.
I should be an editor.
You should be.
I would be fired 3 seconds in.
I don't know.
In and go, I love it, but I hate it.
It's like when you watch, like, cooking competition shows, they're like, this is really good, but blah, 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 you should have done this, and you should have done that, and this is undercooked, and this is overcooked, and this is not crunchy enough, and this is too crunchy, and, like, no, you don't love it then. You're saying all these negative things.
Yeah. What gets me is, like, on Bake Off, where they're like, we just gave them just barely enough time, they're going to have to time everything perfectly in order for it to work, and then they get to the judging part, and they're like, ran out of time, did ya? With a recipe that you didn't know, that you had to get the timings perfect for, even if you're a professional, it's hard to do. Ran out of time, did ya? Such a shame. Like, it's just kind of...
yeah. You would be kind of a harsh editor, I think.
I don't... Put it this way. I edited my friend's papers when I was in high school, and we had arguments.
Oh, no.
Nothing came to blows, but...
oh, that's good.
And it made it better. But there were times where they're going, no, it's fine. I'm going, no, it's not. Change it.
I had a class in college once where we had to distribute our papers to the class. So everybody read everybody's paper. And I had friends in that class who would, like, as they were reading them, go through and, like, make edits. And I was like, oh, please don't. I hate doing things like that because I don't like other people reading what I write.
That's the thing. It's back to the James Patterson problem of sometimes you get too big and your editors stop being as critical as they should.
Yeah.
Which brings down the value and quality of your work.
Yeah.
So I think as an editor, you have to be a certain level of harsh.
Yep.
Because your job is to make sure that is the best that it can be.
Yep.
If I was an editor, I'm not there to hold your hand.
No, that's not your job.
I'll hire you a therapist on the side.
That's also not your job, though, I don't think.
No, also not.
But
like, there is value in editing.
Yeah.
Like, if I had read that book and I was the editor, I would remove this Cain Molten Man scene from the beginning.
Yeah.
It introduces the Molten Men, but I think we could have probably done with, Cain running away or something. Mm-hmm. Rather than, well, now we know how to solve them. Move on.
Yeah.
But anywho, that being said, I would recommend people read this book. It is still a good book.
Tears it to shreds. Read this book.
Great first effort. No, I think she will be a good writer. I just think there's some kinks to work out.
Yeah, no, it's not, like, the first half of the book was really good. I was really into it. Mm-hmm. And then when I finished the book, I was just underwhelmed.
Yeah. So I am kind of curious to see if the second book if she's made improvements on that end. Like, yeah. I'm looking forward to the second book, and I want that third book to be out, like, yesterday.
Too bad for you.
I know. Do you have any fun facts for us?
I do. I'm not going to lie, this was fun to research. Pirates are very interesting. So I have a few. Probably the most famous real-life pirate ever, Blackbeard, real name Edward Teach, preyed on shipping vessels in the West Indies and along the east coast of America. He was Benjamin Hornigold's second in command and a key member of the flying gang before going out alone. So there's some info on the most famous pirate. Seaborne piracy against transport vessels remains a significant issue, with estimated worldwide losses of US $16 billion per year, particularly in the waters between the Red Sea and Indian Ocean off the Somali coast, and also in the Strait of Malacca and Singapore, which are used by over 50,000 commercial ships a year. So I thought that was interesting because obviously piracy is still a big problem in some parts of the world. One of my favorite authors, Corbin Addison, has a book about that. Somali pirates taking over a ship. It's a father and a son who are sailing around the world, and they get onboarded by Somali pirates, which is very interesting. I thought it was very interesting. Sounds better
than Captain Phillips.
It's like a similar theme because it's also Somali pirates, but Captain Phillips is like a huge giant cargo ship, and this is not that. So, yeah, I mean,
Captain Phillips is also mostly fictional.
I recommend Corbin Addison, all of his books. They're fantastic, in my opinion. But
why haven't we done one for the podcast then yet? Or do you read them all as they come out so there's nothing we haven't read yet?
I've read them all. Although he has a true crime one that I just ordered online. I found it.
Well, don't read it yet. We'll do it for the podcast.
But yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Definitely a lot of Somalian pirates, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if there are other, but that's what you, like, I always hear just Somali.
Somalia seems to have the biggest piracy problem, at least the most well-known piracy problem. I mean, it all depends on location and that kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah.
There's not a whole lot in the Arctic Sea.
And $16 billion of loss per year, like, that's a lot.
It is, but not that much when you think about it. If you get a couple of container ships, you're good for a while.
I guess so.
Like, there is so much cargo on those things.
Yeah. So,
I mean, just one container ship filled to the brim with Lego. Goodness knows how much that costs.
That would be a fun container ship to find. Yeah. Lastly, I am going to butcher some of these names, I'm sure.
Qingxi.
Qingxi, prominent female pirate in late Qing, China. A female pirate in China was a prostitute who married a pirate and rose to prominence after his death. Regarded as one of the most powerful pirates in human history, she commanded her husband's fleet after his death. While the fleet she inherited was already large, she further increased the number of ships and crew. At its height, her fleet was composed of more than 1,500 ships and 80,000 sailors. She controlled much of the waters of the South China Sea. After years of piracy during which she defeated several attempts to capture her, the government offered her peace in 1810 and she was able to retire. And she married her second in command. And I feel like there's a little more there, but I don't know what happened to the rest of that sentence. So she married her second in command. And I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, she's one of the most successful pirates, which always amuses me when it's like, ooh, Blackbeard is the most famous. Yeah, he was not the most successful. Did he have 1,500 ships? No, he did not.
No, but he was the most famous for whatever reason.
Yeah, but like...
Because he's a man.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't hear about those female pirates, but there's more than just this one.
Oh, there's quite a few female pirates.
Yeah. But
by and large, they did fairly well for themselves.
This was an interesting story because, she married into it and then took it over and grew it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as I understand, she ran her pirate fleet. Like, individual captains had the autonomy to attack certain areas. There were certain areas that, if you attacked them, well, you're basically dead because they were protected by her, so couldn't go against those orders. So everybody kind of ran their own little thing, but she managed overall. So, no, she's really cool.
Mm-hmm. So, some fun pirate facts for you, because pirates are interesting.
Yes, they are. I would highly recommend the Bloody Jack series, especially the audiobooks. It's 12 books. It is great.
All right. There you have it.
Yes. And with that, we end. So that's what we thought of this book.
But those are just our opinions, and we'd like to hear yours.
So leave us a comment.
Thanks for joining us for Between the Lines, and thanks to our editor, Linda.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.